Hi, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and we're here at the GTS Distribution Come and Play Day event here in Atlanta, 2016. I'm with Steve from Bezier Games. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Everybody.
Great to have you here. And you brought a game with you?
I did. I brought Colony with me. This is a new product for us. It's going to be coming out November 9th is the street date. It's a $60 price point. It plays 1 to 4 players. So in addition to what we're going to be doing, you can also play it solo.
Solo version. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Actually, this was the first game I played here at this event. So
I'm honored.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, I'm looking forward to showing people how this works. What is the setting of this game? Kind of thematically, what's happening here?
Sure. It's a post-apocalyptic effort to rebuild civilization by starting with your small colony of 4 buildings and then acquiring resources, constructing new buildings, and having the biggest and best colony before the other players.
Sure, and so whoever can get the most victory points, right? And
exactly.
Then we'll win.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of dice, there's a lot of different card options. Looking at the table right now, we have things sort of set up as if we had already been playing a little bit already, right? We set things up to show a little bit of a turn. But there's more than what we just see here. Maybe at the end of the video we can show there's actually more cards to choose from.
There's a lot more cards, absolutely.
Right.
There's a lot more cards. We're looking at 6 standard cards at the bottom.
That's these ones here, right?
Mm-hmm. The 6 standard cards at the bottom are part of every game, and then these 7 cards here are 7 out of a set of 28.
Well, maybe what we could do is just go to the table and show an example round of play just to see how the mechanics work. Sound good?
That sounds great.
Let's do it.
The way we've got this set up, we've got our 6 standard cards at the bottom, and then we've got 7 variable cards above it. And then on either side, we have our standard cards. So you have 4 standard buildings, I have the same 4 standard buildings. The difference, though, is I've upgraded my upgrade facility. You have not, but you've upgraded your warehouse so you can store more dice than I can in my
Right, because all of these can be upgraded by flipping them over, right?
Exactly. Every single card in the game has a 1.0 side, which is what you purchase, and a 2.0 side, which is what you upgrade to. They all have the same basic abilities, but they're better versions of them on the 2.0 side.
And those upgraded versions usually give you more points as well, right?
Exactly. For all of the cards, there's a little fluorescent orange dot that tells you how many victory points you will get.
Right.
Some of the cards have special conditions, and I'll talk about those if they come up. But a lot of the cards, like your starting cards, don't have victory points. My upgrade gives me 1 there, and your upgrade gives you 1 there.
Right.
Plus, you've built the robber, which is actually a building, but you've got the robber. And then I've built 2 production buildings. The green cards are production buildings. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3 points. You have a total of 1, 2 points, which is reflected on the scorecard.
And the thing that really fuels how we acquire things in the game and do stuff are these dice, right?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
we're storing these in our warehouse, and you're also generating some we can see over here. And some of these are kind of like a translucent color. These are like the unstable.
The unstable resources, they're standard 6-sided dice, but we've got 2 different types of dice. Unstable resources, which have to be used on the turn that you acquire them, or they go away, and stable resources, which you can use or you can store in your warehouse as long as you have room in your warehouse.
So what do we do at the start of a turn?
At the start of the turn, I'll start this off. So we've got 3 dice here that I'm going to roll. I roll 3 dice. I just happened to get, not that there was any trickery going on
not at all.
here.
You just happened to get a 6, a 4, and a 1.
I just happened to get a 6, a 4, and a 1. We'll see how that works out for me.
Okay, sure.
So I roll 3 dice.
Yes.
I choose the one that I want. Then I pass to you. You choose the one you want. If we had other players, you'd pass to them.
Right.
With just a 2-player game, you're going to pass the final one back to me.
Okay.
So I can look at your resources that you've got, and I know, because we were talking about it earlier, I know you're eyeing the prize safe.
I am. I mean, look, I've got 2 6s here. I got 2 2s, and the cost to acquire one of these is shown at the top, right? So I just need one more 6, and I'm all set. And there's one that you're going to pass to me right now, I think.
You would be wrong.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep this out of spite so that you don't get your other 6, and I'll pass those 2 dice to you.
Okay. So from these, I can choose something. You know what? You think you've thwarted me, but you haven't quite, Steve. I'm going to take this 1, and I will give you this 4 that I don't even want.
I know what you're doing there, but we'll let it play out. Now. Because it's my turn, I don't have to store these in my warehouse. I can have my full warehouse and use these, but at the end of my turn, whatever I don't use has to fit in my warehouse.
Right.
Because it wasn't your turn, you did have to put yours in your warehouse. All right, so this is what I have to work with. I've got the 6 and the 4, and then I've got these other dice in my warehouse. Now, I had my eye on the protein lab for some time. You can see I've got a GMO farm, which produces an unstable 2. I've got a fabric replicator, which produces an unstable 4.
And those are dice you can also use right now.
Absolutely.
Round, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the green buildings are production buildings. They produce these unstable resources, so I'll have them every turn. Well, the way we play is we just put these gray dice here so that we don't forget. Later on in the game, there might not be enough dice to go around, but you can always get additional dice.
Right. You just grab them when it's your turn and you produce it.
Exactly. Okay. Or you just remember,
yes.
I have these available to me. So what I'm going to do, I want to get the Protein Lab. Protein Lab costs 3 4s and a 2. I've got 1, 2 4s, and you passed me a 4.
Right. So these 3 here, you're able to use to spend along with this 2.
Exactly.
It pays its cost.
Exactly. Okay. So I put these back in the pool, and I take the Protein Lab. Now, one of the things, because these are all production buildings, it saves a little bit of space if we just overlap all of our production buildings.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that there, I'm going to put that there. And now what this means, and this will be the death of you, Rodney, what it means is that I'm producing a 2, a 3, and a 4 every single round. And because I've already upgraded my upgrade, I only need a 2, a 3, and a 4 to upgrade. So basically, regardless of whatever else I'm doing, I'm going to be able to upgrade every single round.
Right, no matter what's in your warehouse, no matter what I pass you or you roll, you're always going to have those which will trigger that. I see.
Exactly.
Very devious.
And that's one of the strategic paths. A lot of people, when they look at the game, because it's dice and cards, they don't realize the depth of strategy. But it's an engine-building game. So I'm going for the upgrade engine. So I'm going for efficiency. Whatever I buy, upgrade, upgrade, upgrade.
Sure.
Whereas for you, you are going nowhere right now, but I think that's going to change. I think it's going to change. You're welcome. So that's the end of my turn.
Now, would you be able to use those?
Not on the this one that I just got.
Right.
I can't use this turn.
Okay.
It produces at the beginning of your turn.
I gotcha.
There's nothing else that I can do with these, the 2 and the 4.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I have this ability, the supply exchange. It lets you turn 2 dice of equal value into whatever you want, but these are not of equal value.
Understood.
So basically, I lose them at the end of my turn,
yeah.
but then I'll produce them at the beginning of my next turn. So we just leave those there.
Okay, sounds good. So now maybe I can take a turn and see if I can come up with something good?
Absolutely.
All right. So I think I start again by rolling the dice.
Yes, but not so fast.
Oh, yeah?
I built something, which means I've got an extra victory point.
Oh, yeah, I guess we should give you those points, right?
Exactly. And these fluorescent orange dots are victory points. And one of the nice things about it, this is a 5-color printing.
Yes.
So we use fluorescent ink. Because there are gamers out there who are colorblind, and the fluorescent pops right out for them, makes it very easy for them to see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should be moving up from 3 to 4. And it's really nice. The points are public, so you can sort of audit each other. And
if you ever forget, you can always remember, or someone decides to give themselves a few more points than they should have.
Exactly. Say, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Exactly.
All right. Well, I'll roll up here, and we'll see what I get. Okay. Well, I could, looking at this, I think I'll take the 4, because that way I know I'm going to be getting a 2 back anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So you could even keep the 2 and just hand me the other one. There's no choice there. So this I have to put in my warehouse, and I have plenty of room, so that's not a problem. Yours you don't have to put in your warehouse yet. Again, it's not a problem.
Right, this is technically because I have the space, but really it's over here if I want.
Exactly.
And I should mention, if a person decides not to construct something, right, to buy something. So this is like, when you constructed before, it's kind of like you're activating this construction ability.
Exactly, yeah.
You can only either construct one thing, or if I decide not to construct, I can take one of these, like chippies, I think?
Chippies is what we've been calling them, yes.
Right, and this just means that I can spend these on a later round to get a free one of these dice, right?
Exactly. You can store as many chippies as you want.
Yeah.
You can spend them a maximum of 3 at a time. So if you've got a lot of dice in your warehouse, that's a good time to say, I'm also going to turn in 3 of my chippies, and then you would roll those along with whatever you roll. These are yours.
Yes.
And then the other resources, the stable ones, you choose one and then pass.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think I still want to get that prize safe, which you were trying to deny me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the supply exchange, which allows me to take 2 dice that are equal, like these 2 ones here, and I can spend them and then turn it into something I want. And in this case, I think I want that 6. So I'm going to convert that into a 6.
Yep.
Now I'm going to spend my 3 6, my 2 2s, and then I'm going to be able to buy this, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And so I'm going to construct. That goes back to the supply. Now, how does this one work?
So this is interesting. It's one of my favorite cards. It has a lot of variability. The way that it works is when you first purchase it, you roll 3 dice.
Okay.
And whatever your lowest die is, you put there, and that's how many points it's worth.
Let's get 3 6s. Oh my goodness, I had 2 5s. So I have to put this one in there?
You have to put that one in there. So that is only worth a single victory point, which we should give you credit for.
Thank you.
Now, the nice thing about it is if you upgrade.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. If you upgrade, you flip it over, and you roll 3 dice again, but you put your highest die there. So if you get lucky, a single upgrade can take you from a 1-point building to a 6-point building.
So let's sort of pretend I had upgraded it.
Sure.
So I roll here, and now I'm taking the 6?
Yes.
Well, that's a huge improvement.
I will say one thing, though. It's interesting, because had you not upgraded it and you'd rolled that, it would still be worth 5 points.
Yes, that's right. Even that would have been a good roll.
That would have been an outstanding roll.
Then I might have said, well, I'm not going to spend the time to upgrade that. I'll upgrade something else, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have touched it.
No, because then maybe
5.
I would have rolled something even worse.
Yeah, you might roll a 1, 2, 2,
right.
and then you're really out of luck.
And then you'd really be laughing.
Exactly.
And so back and forth we go like this. And when does the game end?
So the game ends based on the number of players. With 2 of us, we would play all the way to 20.
Yes.
With 3 or 4, obviously, you'd play fewer, play to a lower score. It brings up, though, one of my favorite things about the game is the catch-up mechanism. I think it's one of the most elegant and fun catch-up mechanisms that I've seen.
What's that?
So let's say we're later in the game, and of course I'll be crushing you.
Of course, I have no doubt. Believe me, I have no doubt.
so let's say that's the score.
Yeah.
Now, it's very likely towards the end of the game that on my turn, I'll be able to score 2 points.
Sure.
And it's a sprint to the finish line. So as soon as I hit 20, that's the end of the game. What you can do on your turn, or any time actually in the game, you can demolish one of your buildings, toss it back in the box, and you get a dice to roll equal to the difference between your score and my score. So on your turn, and this is actually a really good example, let's say you had 3 chippies.
Yes.
So on your turn, you take 3 dice from the supply that you're going to roll.
Yep.
You turn in your chippies for 3 gray dice, so those are gone.
Yep.
And you would demolish, let's say, your warehouse, because you think you're not going to last another round. So
That's
the
right,
warehouse
that's
goes
gone.
away. And you would get 7 more dice because of the difference in our scores. That's 7? Yes, that's 7.
So now I really have a lot of things to work with here when I roll, right?
Exactly. And all of those would be yours to keep.
And I still
that
pick
you'd roll
one.
and keep
Right.
one. And in our game, actually, you'd end up getting 2 of those.
Exactly.
So you might not be able to get all the way up. You might not be able to beat me. But the thing that I love about it is in so many games, if you're getting blown out, the last round,
It's already over
it's
anyway.
just already over. It's
Yeah,
exactly,
sure.
it's no fun. Here, even if you can't catch up, it's fun to roll a bucket of dice.
Yeah, make a race
It's fun
for
to
it.
see what you can do.
Sure.
And it's nice. I mean, you've got the spotlight on you, and there's a little bit of tension there. So
Okay.
I love that catch-up mechanism. I love the depth of strategy combined with the very simple, easy gameplay.
One thing, too, we should maybe point out is that there is some interaction that can happen between the players.
Absolutely,
Like, I didn't
yeah.
use this on my turn because I'm a nice person. But
Is that why you didn't use it, or
No,
did you forget?
I forgot. Okay, so this is the robber here. And if I activate this, this allows me to force other people potentially to give me things that they have.
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Now, there are answers to that. You can, for example, get the barricade, and that can block an attack from happening as well.
So with the robber, you'd roll 1 die, and every opponent who
Yes.
has a die of that same value would give it to you.
So like if I had rolled a 5, for example, you'd have to give me your 5.
And anyone else at the table would
And
also
everyone
have
else
to give
too,
you
yeah.
5. The barricade would let me ignore 1 attack, but let's say we're playing a 4-player game and everybody has a robber. I could ignore 1 attack from you, but I'm vulnerable to the others.
Sure.
Unless I upgrade my barricade, which lets me ignore 1 attack per opponent.
Now, what if someone doesn't really like, games where someone's going to be able to
Sure,
interfere with
sure.
me in that way? What do we do about that?
Well, it's very easy. You just don't use the cards that your group doesn't like. So if you have a group that doesn't like conflict, don't use any of the red attack cards or any of the yellow defense cards,
Right.
which actually would be pointless without the red attack
Sure,
cards.
yeah.
So you just don't use those. You use more of the manipulation or trade or production cards.
Perfect.
You get to pick and choose the way that suits your group.
And before we sign off here, one thing I'd just like to bring onto screen is the actual box and the inserts. Would you mind grabbing
yeah,
it there? And just putting it-
absolutely.
Because people who watch our show know I'm a bit of a sucker for a good insert.
Yes.
And I have to say I was really impressed with this particular insert because, of course, it has slots for all the different individual sets of cards you're going to put in. So we want to set up, we can just grab the ones that I want. But it has this nice little indicator down here letting us know exactly where everything goes when we want to put it away or get things out. And this actually has a little tab keeping it in place. Underneath of here is where you store all the dice, the tokens, and things. And this, when it goes back into place, it actually snaps in.
It pops right in.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have any trouble at all when I'm traveling to different shows of having the dice fall out or any of that other thing. And one other really great thing about the insert is it fits both sleeved and unsleeved cards. We learned our lesson.
I'm so glad you said that
Yes.
because you just saved me about 100 questions in the comments. If you
Yep.
always want to know, will this insert fit sleeves? And that allows
Absolutely.
that. So
Yep.
that's fantastic. I always love seeing that. Steve, can you remind me again, when is this game going to be available?
So it has a November 9th street date. Some retailers will already have it if they've got the retailer kit. So you might find it in your local game store, but the street date is November 9th. It's a $60 MSRP, plays about 60 minutes for a full game, and 1 to 4 players.
Well, listen, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
so much. That was great. And of course, to all the rest of you, until the next episode, thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.